Marjoram. Hi, it's me again. Woohoo! Today is a segment I like to call Roasted Lamb Shoulder for Dummies. And I'm not calling you a dummy. This is really a video for me. Yesterday, I was the dummy. I made us a lamb shoulder roast. I was really scared. I feel like nicer cuts of meat just scare me because they're usually expensive and you've got one shot. Yesterday, I was the dummy and I still nailed it. If it's your first time, no matter what, you're going to nail it because I'm gonna show you every single step of the way. Now let me tell you the steps of the recipe before we even do anything. It's very easy, okay? Very, very simple. All right, the first step, you just gotta get your lamb roast. I chose a boneless lamb shoulder. I like boneless because I know how much meat I'm getting. It's also very easy to truss or tie up so that all the juices cook internally evenly. I'll get to that in a little bit. I just find it easier to understand what we're working with. Sometimes bones can weigh a lot and you're left with just like a little bit of meat. So why not just go boneless, make your life a little easy. If you're feeding 2 people, 1 pound actually works perfectly and it takes 30 minutes to roast, which is unreal because there are other easy meats like chicken breast that can take 30 minutes to feed 2 people. So why not jazz things up a little bit and make your life easy and fun? I don't know. You tell me why you wouldn't want to do that. I see no reason not to. And today I'm using 2 pounds, so we're going to make a recipe for 4 people. Even though it's just my husband and I, we do have the appetite of 4 people. So if you are feeding 2 people, definitely go 1 pound. If you're feeding 4 people, go 2 pounds. More, go up and up and up. Does that make sense? So 6 people would be 3 pounds. So everyone gets about half a pound. Yeah, you feel me on that? Good. Back to the steps. Get your meat. As I explained, the weight depends on how many people you are feeding. Then what you do is you're going to make a spice blend. Mine is a Middle Eastern inspired spice blend that I'm making myself, but it's very similar to a za'atar spice blend. So we've got oregano, we have marjoram, we have lemon zest, salt, pepper, some coriander for that floral punch to it. It's more like a bright spice blend with some cumin for earthiness. Honestly, if there's a certain spice blend that you love, screw mine, use your own, use whatever you want and just follow the method. I'm just here to inspire you. As you know, you don't have to follow any rules in your own kitchen except be safe, okay? Don't throw knives and stuff. We're not here for that. That's not why we're in the kitchen. All right, now I'm just gonna make my spice blend to start. I like to mix everything in one bowl, just makes life easier when we're rubbing down our lamb meats. I am putting in some lemon zest. It's the zest of 2 lemons, so about this size, average lemon size, and you can just save them after you zest them to use the juice for something else. Salt and pepper, black pepper, don't use anything else here. You could use rainbow peppercorn, it's more floral, it'll actually go nicely with it, but I prefer black pepper. All right, I'm going to add some oregano, dried oregano, plain, normal oregano, but if you have Lebanese oregano, even better. Then I'm also adding some marjoram as well. Marjoram. I should clarify how to say that, but for now, I have it. I'll write it in the description, marjoram. It's a Middle Eastern spice, similar to mint. It's got a cooler tone to it. You'll love it. You're gonna love it. Just try it out. And then I'm also going to add some cumin, fennel seed, and coriander, all ground. So just ground dried herbs that you can buy. Very easy, very simple. I'm gonna mix it up. This has enough salt in it, so I don't really have to separately salt my meats. Like this, fully combined. Now I'm gonna add my garlic. I've got about 6 cloves, finely chopped or minced if you wanna get all technical with it. You could use a pre-minced garlic, but I just prefer to do everything fresh because if you buy those pre-minced garlics, they tend to have citric acid and I don't like how fake it tastes. Okay. And if you don't like garlic and you're more of an onion person, you can also do a minced shallot here as well. I added some sesame seeds because this is inspired by za'atar. It's very similar in the flavor profile with a little tweaks here and there. And sesame seeds add a nice toasty nuttiness that is just comforting and goes really beautifully with the lamb. So this is the blend all together. And now I'm gonna add about 4 tablespoons or a quarter cup of olive oil. I am just eyeballing it. 2, 3, 4. 4 long swirls is 4 tablespoons in my book, but you can totally pre-measure that. Might make your life a little easier. This should basically be a spice blend paste. Shouldn't be too oily, shouldn't be too dry. It should just look like a paste that will easily adhere to your meat. So, like that. Now, if you have a raw meat trigger situation, like if it triggers you to see raw meat, fast forward a little bit, because I'm gonna be touching some raw meat. We're gonna get wild with it. I'm gonna put my hair behind my shoulders. I know a lot of people get upset. It's okay, we're all here together. I also am wearing my wedding ring. Whatever, I love wearing my wedding ring. I don't want to take it off. I got this from the butcher. It is a boneless lamb shoulder. Let's unwind it. So this is it. This is it here. And you'll notice if you are cooking along with me or just watching this before you get started, if you have your own meat, you're going to see parts of it that have big, thick, white, firm layers. That's fat. We're gonna trim the fat. Okay, we're gonna trim that off because it's not gonna add anything. We're not gonna wanna eat it. It's gonna be tough to chew through, and it's just going to kind of it doesn't help the dish, right? It doesn't have any value. We might as well get rid of it before we cook the meat. So it doesn't impact cook time, doesn't impact flavor, and it's just gonna be straight up good meat in the oven. So I'm just examining this before I even cut it. I haven't even looked at this. This is my first time looking at it, so give me a second. Cool. All right, my meat has like random crevices, and I think I'm gonna open it up to flatten it a little bit so I can stuff it with some spices and trim the fat. Sounds complicated, very easy. Just give me a second to wash my hands. I would do this with a paring knife, but you know, you do whatever you want. And just find the fat and angle your knife so that you are trimming it. We're quite literally trimming the fat. You see, this just kind of came off and revealed this meat here. That's what we want. So this is a big piece of meat, so this is gonna take me a minute. So I will come back after it's trimmed, but I feel like you get the point. Just be careful, obviously, and cut off the fat. I got a lot of that excess membrane and any insane, large, massive chunks of fat on the outside. I didn't want to overcomplicate things, and we don't want to get rid of all of that. Fat is flavor, so I just want to clarify, get rid of anything that just seems massive. Now I've got my lamb shoulder here. It's a funky shape, honestly, but it is what it is. And I'm gonna lay it flat. Basically, I wanna find a way to wrap this up so I can stuff it, flavor it, and wrap it up. Like this. This makes sense to me. Fabulous. Okay, I've got my lamb shoulder and I am just laying it flat. This is where we're gonna get creative. We're gonna have a little fun with it. I'm gonna take my mixture. This is all going in here. I'm gonna just rub it. Like really rub it up here. And if you wanna put some onions or mushroom, anything like aromatic wise, do it while it's flat. Okay. I'm gonna roll it up and flip it. I'm gonna take the rest of this rub and rub it on the outside. I also wanna tell you the point of flattening it and then rolling it. Of course, we wanna get the spices inside the meat, right? We roll it because we want all of the meat to be the same thickness. The reason we will truss it is to keep it in the same shape so that it is an equal thickness, which means it will cook evenly and the juices will distribute evenly. So no matter how your lamb shoulder is shaped, no matter what is going on with it, just know the main point of this process is to distribute the spices evenly and keep the entire piece of meat an even size so it cooks at the same rate. That should help you just feel more confident, because no matter what your lamb looks like, because it's not gonna look like mine, it won't. So no matter what it looks like, you know the main point is to just keep it in a shape like this. I'm gonna get my twine, my cooking twine, and we're gonna truss this bad boy up. Oh baby. I also have preheated my oven to 425. Really doesn't matter how you wanna tie it up, as long as it stays in a shape that makes sense. All right, I'm gonna take my twine in the center, and I have a really long piece, and I'm just putting it on the side here. And literally, okay, I'm just wrapping this one piece around it. Lovely. Also wrap it around like this to keep it straight. Cool. So this is trussed, it is tight, it is taut, everything is sucked up like this, and it's all in this cylinder shape here. I don't want to touch it, I don't want to mess it up, but there are many different ways to truss a lamb shoulder. What I just did was probably not the technical way to do it, but it is all together in a uniform shape, and I know it's just gonna work out, because last night I did this like random configuration and it was perfect. I'm gonna get a sheet pan, I'm gonna get a rack. If you don't have a risen rack for your sheet pan, just put it on the sheet pan, but rotate it, because you know we don't want it to have any part sitting flat on a slab of metal. We like it when the air can circulate around the whole entire roast so that it becomes nice and golden brown on the outside. So that's the goal right now. I'm gonna take my roast and put it on this rack here, which is on the sheet pan, so it's elevated. I'm gonna move this to the front. At this point, I have touched everything that I shouldn't have touched. I'm gonna take any leftover rub and just put it on here, because we don't wanna waste it. We worked hard to make this. It's gonna be so good. All right, final step here. Let's oil her up. My hands are clean, so I can touch a bottle of oil. We can go extra virgin olive oil, but I also have avocado, which has a higher smoke point, so I'm gonna go avocado oil, and I'm just going to give her a rub down once again, but I'm not gonna use my hands this time. And I also will give her maybe a second oil in the middle. This is just to help her get, I don't know why it's girl, it just is, okay? The oil is just gonna help it get that nice golden brown crispiness on the outside, and it's just going to be perfect. So here she is, love it. All right, I'm gonna put her in the oven. It's at 425 degrees. The rack is in the middle. I have a convection oven, so the air circulates around in the oven. If you have a traditional oven, there's usually hot spots no matter what. So check up on your roast in about 20 minutes. Let's give this about 45 minutes before we take the internal temperature. For medium rare, we want it to be at, I think, a 135. So we'll want to remove it at 130 because it's going to rest and cook as it rests. That being said, let's just let it do its thing, and I'll see you in a minute. I took my roast out of the oven. Let me show you what she looks like. You can see she's nice and golden brown. Ooh, we love her. Yeah. I'm gonna let her just hang out. And let's tackle a little sauce while she rests for about 10 to 15 minutes. Also, something else I did, I put some red lentils in a rice cooker, and I'm making a nice red lentil mash. I like to pair the earthy lentils with this lamb, which is gamey and intense and meaty, so the lentils pair beautifully with that. And then I'm also gonna make this sauce. So we're literally just making an herbal sauce, similar to a chimichurri, but we're adding a lot of mint. So it's a mint, parsley, olive oil, shallot situation. So I have all my herbs and the olive oil in a jar. I moved it to a bigger jar just because the herbs are really fluffy to begin with, and you pat them down with oil and it becomes more of a dressing. But it's more of like an herb spread. finely chopped herbs held together with an oil, and we're missing an acid, right? So let's get a little acid in here. I wanna go with a lime juice, but you can go with a lemon juice. You can also do a little bit of red wine vinegar to give it chimichurri vibes, but I don't want anything to kill this refreshing mint, so we're gonna go lime. This is eyeballing it once again, but I don't want too much. I don't want this to be a very acidic spread. Relish? What do you call this? Sauce? Relish? Something? Herbal enhancement? I already put a little salt in here. I love limes. Stunning. We got our little relish, our red lentils are done, so everything is good to go. Let's cut our roast and plate her up. First step in this whole process, let's cut the twine. Here she is, look at her. Okay, I'm gonna bring you guys in up close so you can see the final sexy reveal. All right, let's do it. I'm gonna do it against the grain. I'm going to just cut it like this. Straight down with a serrated knife. My lamb did kind of cook in 2 parts, so I'm just keeping it together with my hands, and I'm gonna do a nice thick slice here. How epic is this? Oh my God, so good. All right, let's do it. So I made those lentils, and I'm just going to put them on my plate. I love overcooked red lentils, so they're like a heartier mashed potato. It's just, I love it. And I use nice beef broth or a vegetable stock to cook them in. And it's kind of off center in the plate, and I'm gonna make a little divot. You do not need to use labneh here. I just really love it, and I love the way it tastes with the lentils. And I'm just going to like swirl a little bit. Just oil it up. Okay. Our gorgeous piece of meat. Ooh. And if you wanted, you could put 2 on here. Okay, I'm gonna just put 1 more right there, like that. Ah, gorgeous. Now for the grand finale. Got our herbs here. The herbs that we just made with our heart and soul. I'm gonna just spread it out on here. Just a little bit. We don't need much, honestly. Dash of smoked paprika. I used it while cooking the lentils, so I thought it would just go nicely here. Totally optional. This is a restaurant dish right here. It's gorgeous. It is delicious, and it's honestly shockingly easy. And if you want another one here, check it. Here they are together. And you're all of a sudden a professional chef doing the best work ever. You should be proud.